I regret hiring a VA for my coaching business because it was just a waste of time and money. You're probably thinking of hiring a VA right now. Maybe you're sick and tired of doing cold outreach, prospecting, replying to conversations, making content every single day. You know it's a numbers game, but the numbers are starting to weigh heavily on you. And you're thinking, oh my God, if I just had someone to do this for me, my life would be so much better and I would be making so much more money. But that's not always the case. I'm going to share with you some systems that need to be in place first before you can considering hiring someone. And this is some wisdom that I got from my first ever coach who is also a marketer at base, but very, very wise business owner. And he said, if you have a system that doesn't really work, or sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, when you delegate somebody to focus specifically on doing that task, that system, what you get is more of what you don't want. Because hiring someone is literally a process of amplification. You're looking to get more of what's working, but that's the key element. What's working. So I see so many coaches doing this because, we're exhausted. We never thought that it was going to be so hard just to create sales calls, get leads, and grow consistently to 5 figures instead of hovering between 5, 10K a month, or in most cases, even less. So we're like, I'm so tired. I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And maybe just this week, you got 10 messages from people saying, hey, I have a team of VAs. Would you like to talk about hiring someone to help out? We generate so many leads and so many sales calls, blah, 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 blah. But what you get when you actually hire that person, you get someone who has no idea how to generate leads. You get someone who has no idea how to speak in your voice, has no idea, how this coaching business stuff works. Because think about it. They're working for you. If they knew how to generate leads and sales calls, they would probably be the ones selling high ticket services instead of being paid whatever amount an hour you're paying them. Right? It doesn't make sense. So if you're thinking that the VA will solve your lead generation problem, that's not going to be the case. That's not their job. Their job is to do a repetitive task that works first, over and over and over again, and do it more than you could. But again, it needs to work. So how do you know it works? Well, as a general rule of thumb, as a coach, consultant, agency owner, expert, healer, you shouldn't consider hiring anyone before you've made at least 10K a month consistently for at least 3 months. Because when you do that, you know that your system works. You know that you know your people, your avatar deeply. You know that your content works. You know that your messaging works. You have so much experience talking to people that you can literally create frameworks for the messaging and have, it documented in a system. And so your assistant looks at the document and says, okay, when they say this, I can reply with this. That needs to be handled first. And this conversation that we're having right now is actually inspired from a conversation that I had with my client who was thinking about taking this step without realizing that there's still a bit more work to be done. I know you don't want to hear this. I know how you feel, because you're looking at that person who could take over these boring tasks like a breath of fresh air after, feeling like you're drowning in all of the work. I know. But there's a different way to do it. It's not about doing more hard work. And this is the key. Before you can make, if you're not consistently making at least 10K a month right now, this is going to be the game changer for you. You need to fall in love with the work. I know. You're probably clicking off. You're tempted to click off right now. But here's what happened to my client. She was thinking about hiring that person. We had a quick conversation, and she realized, wait a second, loving my work. How could I make lead generation fun for me? How could I love this? And what she realized was that the way that she was generating leads was the way that everybody was, like the same way everybody does it. And it wasn't the fact that she hated creating calls and, getting clients, had nothing to do with that. She hated doing things exactly like everybody else because she's a rebel. But she immediately realized that, wait, if I do this thing differently, if I do it my way, if I just make a few adjustments here, then this is going to be very fun for me. This is something that I could actually look forward to instead of dreading it. So what I'm saying is that, yes, it's great that you invested in the business strategies. It's great that you invested in learning how to generate leads, but that's not the only way to do it. Now you have a foundation. You can play around with that and make it your own so that you absolutely fall in love with the work. And you do it until you're making the amount of money you can afford to hire more people, more VAs. Imagine that, right? You're making like 10, 15, 20K a month. All of a sudden, you have a budget to hire 5 VAs using the same system. Then you hire salespeople. Exponential growth. But you're not going to do that if you're not willing to fill in the gaps. And you might be asking yourself, okay, but why am I not making this amount of money? What could I do differently? The only reason why you're not thinking of ways of doing things differently, doing it your way, keeping the foundation, but personalize it in a way that's so authentically you. The reason why you're not doing that, this is a totally different conversation that we need to have, you and me, is because, number one, maybe you don't truly understand your value. You don't truly understand how powerful you are, how creative you are, how capable you are to do things differently and them working as well. That's the, let's say, more superficial aspect of it. The deeper aspect, I'm losing my voice, I just got excited. I'm sounding like a 14-year-old going into puberty. The deeper aspect of it is who you are being when you're doing the thing. Because who you're being when you're generating calls and clients is more important than what you're doing. Ask yourself this. When I am making content, when I'm reaching out to people, when I'm talking to people, am I in my power? Am I 100% sold on the value of my service, on the transformation that I bring to people? Do I truly believe in what I'm doing? And chances are you're not 100% there. Chances are you're 60, 70, 80% there. And that's why you're struggling. That's the real challenge. It's not lead generation. It's not sales, because you know how to do this. If you generated 1 lead, you know how to generate 100. If you made 1 sale, you know how to make 100. You know how to do this. But you're doubting yourself. You're looking in the mirror and thinking, if I was so great, then people would line up to work with me. That's not how it works. That's not what this business is about. That's not the mechanism. But when you are 100% confident, when you are 100% sold on what you're offering, and you see a badass when you look in the mirror, any strategy will work, especially the strategies that are authentically you. People feel that. when you're being you and they're like, I want this. Not just your service, but the ability to be myself no matter who's looking, no matter who's watching. You're going to become magnetic once you level up that self-love, that confidence. You let go of imposter syndrome, of perfectionism, of fear, of not being enough, so on and so forth. Like, we can make a whole list of it. You know what I'm talking about. But unless you shift your mindset, you're just going to be in the same situation like I was. Wasting time, wasting money on VAs, on more business strategies, more courses, more how to coach courses, blah, 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 blah. Not much is going to change. I can tell you this because I spent years there. Nothing changed until I changed from within, until I saw my value, until I saw the truth. And the truth is, your service is exceptionally valuable. You are exceptionally valuable. And everybody should see that. But they cannot see it because you don't allow yourself to see it, to show up that way, with presence, with power, with energy. You're not allowing that inner badass to come out. But there is a way to draw it out. And the solution is simpler and easier than you think. You might be tempted to watch another YouTube video on how do I let go of fear of perfectionism, blah, 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 blah. That video is meant for thousands of people, tens of thousands of people. And it's a bit of a one size fits all, but you're different. You have different needs. You need a personalized approach to drawing out who you truly are, that courage of being you no matter what. And that's going to be exceptionally important later when you have a team. You cannot lead without courage, without authenticity. You are going to waste time and money. Yeah? So how do you actually solve this? We need to have a conversation, like I said. We need to have a talk. I need to get to know you. I need to know your history. I need to know your hopes and dreams and what you're really thinking to yourself right now when you're looking in the mirror. And I'm going to show you that all of these fears that you're struggling with, that you're fighting with every single day, they don't make sense. I'm going to give you proof of why they don't make sense. Not from my history, but from yours. Not from, I did this and this and that. I'm going to show you how capable you actually are. I'm going to show you that version of you that can make any strategy work, that can make this business work, no matter the market, no matter the conditions. How are we going to do this? There's a link below. Book a time. Check out the presentation page. Yeah? We're going to have a powerful, deep conversation. It's not going to be a sales call. I know how this works, right? Let's have a consultation call, blah, blah, blah. And just give me money for my program. That's not how I do things. We're going to have a powerful conversation, a transformational conversation. You will not be able to tell the difference between our conversation together and the conversation I have with my one-on-one high-paying clients. It's going to be the same, yeah? At the end of our conversation, I'm going to give you a challenge, a personalized challenge that's going to help you tremendously, not just with feeling powerful, showing up in your power, but with actually growing your business, falling in love with the work if that's what it takes right now. But more importantly, not allowing fear anymore to dictate any of your actions. And that's going to grow your business. We're also going to talk strategy. We're going to look at what you're doing right now and make a few adjustments, and you are going to see an improvement, both in your ability to create calls, create clients, both in your content. Everything is going to improve by you using the steps that you're going to get in the 7-day challenge. And at the end of our first conversation, we're going to book a follow-up call because I want to see how was the challenge, right? How did you do? Did you have any, did you see any ways of doing things differently, even better than what we uncovered in the call? Did you have any challenges? And by the way, in the 7 days, you're going to have direct access to me over Messenger. If you have any questions, if you're struggling with something, just send me a message. I'm going to be there for you, right? In the follow-up call, we're going to take a look at how it went, what you learned about yourself, what you learned about your business, what's different now because you're showing up differently. And if we are a good fit, if you want more of this, and I feel like we could really create something special together, we can have a conversation about working together long term. But if that's not the case, I'm not going to make an offer, right? So it's not going to be like this high pressure salesy bullshit everybody's doing in the coaching industry. So, in other words, don't watch another YouTube video, not even mine. Go down below, tap the link, check out the presentation page, and book a time. This is literally the best thing that you can do for yourself right now. And you're going to see a lot of people who've already have an experience with me and how they changed, how their business transformed. I'm very, very excited to get to know you and to make a difference in your life as well. And I hope you are too. I'll see you soon, and thanks for watching.